everybody. It's Stephen Paul back with you for Wednesday, April the 6th, 2011. Your daily brief of Microsoft and Windows news. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody yesterday who left a comment on the post and on YouTube about my arm. I appreciate the good thoughts. It's healing up. I've got a good nurse, my wife. She does a good job, so it's healing.
I was hoping we'd have to amputate.
Yeah, I know you would figure that.
And I wanted to do the amputation.
Yeah. Yes, okay. You had a little something that you wanted to talk about quickly before?
Yeah, I mean, it's not Microsoft, it's Google, and, you know, for those of you who haven't heard, Larry Page officially took over as the CEO of Google yesterday. Once again, his second time in the position. And it's just very interesting to me that he made the kind of reorg almost immediately, has started the kind of reorg that, you know, we want to see happen in many tech companies, which is that he's putting the engineers back in charge.
Yeah.
He wants them to be quick and nimble and that sort of stuff. And
didn't we hear of another company that was going to do that too?
Yeah. Bammer was supposed to be doing that with Microsoft. And as of yet, we have yet to see the fruits of that. But yeah.
Speaking of Ballmer, I guess he's going to be on stage today with the CEO of Toyota Motors. They're announcing some sort of collaboration between the two companies. We don't know what it's going to be. It's the announcement's supposed to come out at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Well, the speculation here is that this is going to be about energy management software for their hybrid vehicles, their electric vehicles, and that kind of stuff. At first, when I saw the announcement, I thought, hang on, are they partnering with Toyota for that in-car entertainment thing that they do with Ford?
Yeah.
But no, this looks more like, you know that HOM, H-O-H-M software that they have for home energy management, that sort of stuff? Well, they brought that to another car manufacturer last year, I believe, and it looks like they're going to be bringing a new version of something similar to that to Toyota, so that basically, you know, they can figure out, you know, how much energy you're getting back when your car is driving and it's recharging. What's the right time to recharge so it costs is less and that sort of stuff. So interesting, but you know what? Another market for Microsoft.
Yes.
And here's what people don't see. This is another market that Microsoft is very rapidly becoming the dominant player in.
Exactly.
So the more car manufacturers use this, the more car manufacturers have to use this because it has to be supported in garages and repair places everywhere.
Smart move. According to Rewrite Web, Mono for Android ships. Now .NET developers can build Android apps using their favorite Microsoft development tools.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what Mono is, it's .NET for Linux.
Linux.
Open source Linux. And actually we've got quite a bit of Linux news today. But this is good. I mean, it's yet another way for Windows developers to ship their product to
cross-platform.
It's good. But what's more interesting to me is that they don't have to ship their product cross-platform because Android is coming to Windows.
Yeah, I saw that. That one's down a little bit further. Where did we go here? Yeah, BlueStacks is Android's parallel for Windows.
Yeah, it is literally Android running inside Windows, and then you can run everything. Full desktop experience inside Windows. And the great thing about BlueStacks, now, first off, if you go to the BlueStacks.com website, don't bother. They're a stealth startup, so their website sucks. You can't even download stuff, right? But /gear got to actually try it out. And what we're talking about here is the full Android environment inside Windows using Windows drivers. So you print in Android, and it actually just talks to your Windows drivers and prints. You Skype in it, talks to your Windows drivers, prints. So everything is flawless and seamless. And, you know, they've shown it running and, you know, copy and paste between Office and all that sort of stuff. Really, really cool stuff. And, you know, I can't think of many Android apps right now I would want on my Windows desktop. Maybe if you wanted to play Angry Birds Rio, maybe this would be worth it. But, yeah, it's kind of cool. I love to see this sort of cross-platform integration.
Skipping down again a bit for a bit more cross-platform, Microsoft apparently might be bringing Silverlight to the Xbox 360.
No, we'll be bringing Silverlight to the Xbox 360. Look, they've made it very, very clear. We talked the other day about the beta of Android 5 is coming out, okay? Not Android 5, Silverlight 5. But we also mentioned, many, many times that Microsoft has this vision of gaming on Windows Phone 7 and on Xbox.
Yeah.
And then you also have to look at Silverlight is coming to Windows 8. This would be a develop once, deploy everywhere games. Mobile, Xbox, Xbox Live, Windows 8. This makes absolute sense. They've talked about it, and it looks like we're going to see the first iterations of this at Nix.
Yeah.
So that will be fairly cool. Now, sticking with apps, I know we're jumping around the bloody show notes today. But, considering Android's going to come to Windows with its apps.
Yeah.
What's his name? Brandon Watson, Windows Phone 7 head guy, came out and said Apple and Google inflate their app numbers ridiculously. Because, Apple is saying they've got like 350,000 apps in the App Store, and Google is saying they've got 300,000. And basically what he's saying is look, we have 11,500 apps, or whatever the number is, 11,500 apps on Windows Phone 7. We don't count
light versions.
We don't count light versions. We don't count the same app
in multiple languages
because it's in multiple languages.
Yeah.
And as well, he says, and this is one of the things that really pisses me off about the Android market. He says, we don't count wallpapers, which are listed as apps.
Yeah.
We don't count any of those kind of things. Now, obviously, okay, you make those kind of changes, it might knock the numbers down by maybe 100,000, but, still leaving Android with like 200,000 apps, but you're still giving Microsoft a long way to climb up.
Means Android has 30,000 apps. And, Apple has 350,000.
Android's got more than 30,000.
Well, that's what the numbers are here in the posts from Information Week say.
I thought it's more. I think that might be a typo. I think that should be closer to 300,000, possibly.
But
if
you know what?
Folks, let us know at 251. What's our number again?
I don't know.
251-281-8730.
You see, okay, quickly I'm going to raise my major bitch point with any app store, not just Microsoft's, not just Android's, not just Apple's, but the whole right across the board. 90% of the stuff in those stores is crap.
And? I mean, I hate to say it, right? But when you provide people a place to sell their junk, you're going to get 90% of it being shite.
It's just irritating.
Okay, let's go back a decade, right? Let's go back before we had apps and all this kind of crap.
Gadgets.
Let's go back to shareware.
Yep.
90% of it was junk that you wouldn't pay for.
Yeah.
If you look at what is developed for Windows, okay, it's a great open platform in that respect. Anybody can develop for it. Anybody can sell their stuff for it. But 90% of what is out there is shit. And the reason is because 90% of developers are shit.
Yeah.
They might have a great idea, but in order to produce a great app, you need more than just a good developer. You need a UI designer, etc., etc., etc. And that's where it falls down. It's very rare that you come across the one-man job who can do everything,
Yeah.
Now, speaking of not one-man jobs.
Yeah.
Linux. How do you feel about Linux, Steve?
It has its place. It really does. I've got no problem with Linux. I don't think it's for, the average consumer, but it has its place.
Well, it has its place. Web hosts, server markets, that kind of stuff. It has, practically no market share in the desktop environment, and that, in my opinion, is its own fault because basically too many cooks, in the kitchen spoiling the broth.
But I do love this headline that Network World had. Bashing Microsoft is like kicking a puppy, says Linux Foundation chief.
Yeah,
give it a rest.
Basically what he's saying is he's coming out and he's saying, you know what? Linux doesn't have to worry about Microsoft anymore.
Because we already beat them.
We've already won the battle because we've got good market share in server markets and other obscure places that the average home consumer will never hear of, know of, or care about. And of course, he also points to the fact that Linux is part of Apple OS. It's part of
Android.
But yet, see, these are the two questions then that come to me, right? If Linux is so awesome, and don't get me wrong, I run Ubuntu here, right? Why can't they get desktop market share? Why can they only get desktop market share when Apple comes along, for example, builds it on top of whatever version of BSD they built upon, and closes it down, and pushes it their way? Why then can they only get market share? Why is Android called Android and not Linux Mobile? Because Google doesn't want it to be associated with Linux.
Exactly.
Okay? And again, this isn't Linux making it happen. This is Google's engineers making it happen. And I don't know. There's a huge part of me that thinks that maybe open source, well, not necessarily open source, but Linux itself is like the greatest con that ever happened.
But it's open source.
I think maybe, Linus Torvalds and fucking Richard Stallman are getting secret checks that nobody knows about to a Swiss bank account. Because how else would you get so many developers to work for no money for so many years on products that they never see a dime for? And then Google and Apple and other companies go away and make billions on the back of it.
But it's open source. Isn't that what the whole philosophy is?
Yes, let me invest loads and loads of time and effort and money to make a product that everybody else can make money off, but I can't.
But it's open source.
Yes, Android is open source, but let's see you make money off it. Besides running your ads in what little application you might make, and as we said, 99.9% of developers will never be able to do that because they lack all of the skills.
I'm reminded of that cartoon that
if you can't come out with hardware yourself, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, this reminds me of that cartoon that was going around on the weekend of all companies end up looking like Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all kind of comes back to the board.
And Microsoft, in a way, is more open than any one of these companies.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The sheer volume of open source.
Well, it's not just that. Any developer can develop anything they want on the platform.
Anybody can develop for Microsoft, and you're indemnified when you develop for Microsoft using their technologies against, patent infringements and that sort of stuff if it's already there.
Okay, anyway. I know this next one is right up your alley.
One final thing on this Linux thing.
All right.
His statement, to me, is very much like the bald, fat, 50-year-old guy that has a midlife crisis and buys a sports car. You know what I'm getting at? It's compensation.
Yeah. I will do these ones quickly. This one's right up your alley. When I first saw this, I automatically thought of you. But there's an Australian leak that we're supposed to be getting another set of Black Ops maps.
Yeah, now, we don't know exactly when it's going to come. They had to kind of reverse the time scale based on when the PlayStation leak happened. But if it's correct, we should see the next map pack on May 3rd. It will have 4 new multiplayer maps: seize the zoo, take the hotel, secure the convoy, and raid the stockpile, and 1 new zombie map called Call of the Dead. Same as the previous maps. It's going to cost about $15 or 1,200 Microsoft points an extra flight.
Now, this next story, we're gonna run the show out with the actual ad. It's only 30 seconds long. Paul and I are on opposite sides of this. So when he likes it, I think it sucks. So do us a favor, folks. watch the ad. Let us know what you think. Drop us a line at podcast@winextra.com or leave a comment on the post or on youtube.com/winextra or drop us a voicemail at, what's the number again?
251-281-8730. You can also drop us text messages there. And just to give you a little tiny 1 second sort of background on this, a new Microsoft ad. It's running, I believe, in Britain
And Canada.
Yeah. But I believe this is targeted at the sort of more dry British sense of humor, and I kind of like it in that respect.
I think it sucked, but that's my opinion.
Well, Hodson, you think everything that's, not a good cigarette sucks.
So on that note, folks, enjoy the ad. Let us know. That's Paul. I'm Steve. This has been WinExtra's Daily Brief for April the 6th, 2011. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, folks.
Getting files from home. Cloud versus Claude. Go with Cloud and you can use virtually any PC to get files from your home PC. Or you can go with Claude. He'll go to your home and get your PC. Eventually. To the cloud with Windows Live. Download it free.